Hey guys, it's me. I like watching movies and I like reviewing them, but there are some movies out there which I like to watch over and over again, whether they're good or bad. So today I'm just gonna talk about the top 13 movies I would watch again, the top 13 repeats. And you don't really have to agree with them. I just like to watch these movies, whether they're good or bad. Again, so here they are. Cecil B. Demented. Now, I know this is a bad movie. I've heard this is a bad movie. I watched it going in and knowing it's a bad movie. And I know it was going to be this campy kind of movie because it was directed by John Waters, director of the original Hairspray, I think. But I watched it and I thought it was funny because it has such manic energy to it. So, and I actually like the story. It's about these group of crazy people who wanna direct a movie, and so they kidnap a famous actress to be part of their movie. And what follows is this guerrilla style filmmaking, and it's for me it's still funny. It's actually funny because here are these hardcore devoted people doing what they want to do, and and when they finish, they can have sex. That's it. They can't have sex or do any sexual activity until they do this movie. That is devotion. And you got all these people, all these movie makers coming together and doing this guerrilla style kind of performance. And it has Stephen Dorff, Melanie Griffith, and a whole bunch of people. Oh, Maggie Gyllenhaal's in it. Yeah, if you watch her later movies, you'll be like, oh, she can never do a bad movie in her life. It's like, oh my god, this movie, like, it's campy, of course, it has camp value, but I still enjoy it because it's it's stupid. I think it's supposed to be bad, and I checked on Rotten Tomatoes last. It was 51% fresh, and I enjoy it because it's stupid. Okay, not that stupid. It's just fun to watch. It's really fun to watch, and I've watched it 3 times in one day. Like I remember when I watched this, I was on my TV and I saw the information on that. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this, and I laughed. I mean, it's supposed to be stupid, but I laughed nonetheless. So yeah, it's if you never heard of it, just go check it out. It's pretty funny. The Frighteners. Now, I don't think anybody has really heard of much of this movie. I mean, back when it came out, a lot of people heard of this, and it's become more and more realized now because it's a cult classic now. I mean, this was made in 1996, and it was directed by, well, all of you know this, um all of you know him as Peter Jackson, the director of the Lord of the Rings movies, and I didn't hear of this until 2005, 2006, and it was in a magazine which I got, and I saw this movie, and it had directed by Peter Jackson and Michael J. Fox, and I watched it when it first went on TV, which was recently. I mean, over the years it was on TV, but I watched it and I thought it was okay. It's pretty good. It's about Michael J. Fox plays this paranormal guy who pretends to be a paranormal guy, but he um okay, think of it as that movie The Brothers Grimm. Like when the brothers pretend that things are going on, but really they aren't, and then eventually they have to come across this real supernatural thing. The Frighteners did that first, with Michael J. Fox pretending to be this person, but in reality he can see these ghosts. These ghosts help him, but then when it comes time to a real supernatural thing, he it's kind of weird because it has something to do with death, but there's comedy in it. And spoilers, by the way. He dies more than Jesus. Michael J. Fox dies more than Jesus. Jesus, like, he comes back from the dead. No, actually, wait. Uh, he fights these ghosts. He kills himself by freezing himself. He comes back, and then he dies again and comes back. Whoa. It's like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what else to say, because it's half comedy, half horror. It goes even. Like, I've watched this movie about several times, like 5 times, and the last time I thought, it's okay. The first time was amazing, because I got really into it because it's a like a ghost story. It could be a comedic story. It could be a horror story. Like all these together, it's okay now. But I still enjoy it now. So yeah, The Frighteners, Pulp Fiction. Now a lot of people have quoted this movie. A lot of people, and I didn't really get into it until a friend kept quoting it to me in high school, and I didn't know it was quoting. And so he told me the movie. I eventually watched it, and it's amazing because it directed by Quentin Tarantino, obviously amazing director. I thought Inglourious Basterds was okay. It's way too much talking, but Pulp Fiction does a lot of talking, but you're really interested in the dialogue, and it balances out dialogue and action pretty well, and you got all these stories intertwined, and it's actually done quite well. It goes out of order. Like one story could be technically the third in a chronological order. Like like the beginning could be the last part of the movie. The second story could be like I don't know the fourth story in chronological order. But it's all mixed up. It's nothing's really in order, and I think like that's what the director was going for because everything's a mess. Like in every story everything starts out fine and then it just goes all over the place the Bruce Willis character. um he's a wrestler, he's supposed to throw out this fight, and then what happens is he doesn't and he runs away, and he and his girlfriend are about to go the next morning. Then she forgets his watch that his father gave him, which was um given to him by Christopher Walken, and who plays a soldier his father was in. uh yeah, a soldier in a war his father was in, but then his father dies, and then Christopher Walken comes in and gives Bruce Willis as a little kid the watch, and it's very important to him. So his girlfriend leaves his Bruce Willis' father's watch behind, and so he goes to get it. He's about to get it, and then when the hitman comes in, Bruce Willis accidentally shoots him, and then he drives off, and then the person who said Bruce was supposed to throw in the fight, he stumbles onto him, and then there's this whole manic energy, and you don't know if it's supposed to be funny or dramatic, but I laugh every time, because, okay, the first time I didn't laugh, but later on, I knew what was going to happen, but it's going to be funny anyways. Um, I like watching this movie over and over again, because, um, the premise is still fun. It's still fun. I mean, I think more and more people have done it. The Simpsons did it with that 22 things going on in Springfield, and they even parody it at one point. But like most of you should know it. I mean, if you haven't, check it out. If you like Quentin Tarantino, if you like if you like it has everything I like in it. Um, guns, memorable dialogue, like my name is the Lord, like that kind of thing. Like my friends and I usually quote it endlessly. So yeah, Pulp Fiction. Flatliners. Now, this was made in the early '90s, but I didn't really hear about it until my very first year of college from one of my classmates, and he's a friend of mine. He told me about this. Oh, it has Kiefer. You ever heard of the movie Flatliners? That Kiefer Sutherland, it has this 80s special effects, this 80s sound. You're like, no, I've never heard of it. And then literally a few days later, I see it in the library, and I'm like, oh, this is the movie he was talking about. And so I watch it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is fucked up. And if you haven't ever heard of it, it has Kiefer Sutherland and Julia Roberts and Oliver Platt and Kevin Bacon, directed by Joel Schumacher, who yeah he's done Batman and Robin and a few other things. Batman and Robin being his worst, but it's about these people, these group of college people, college kids, I think, these young doctors who want to know what's like beyond death, like what happens beyond death. And it's really interesting to see like everyone has a different perspective of it. Like Kiefer Sutherland has this, Julie Roberts has that, and they have this time thing where they can be dead for a couple of minutes, and then they four of them have to watch over them. What like one person does it, four people watch them. One person dies medically, and the people who want to be involved with it has to help them come back to life. And so everyone has a different perspective. Kiefer Sutherland has it, Kevin Bacon has it, and the thing is, after they come back to life, their past comes back to haunt them. Like something happened in Kiefer's life. Kiefer's character's past comes back to him after he comes back to life. Julia Roberts, whatever happened to her, and what she saw in the death perspective comes back to haunt her when she comes back to life. And I can't really spoil how they get through it. I can't really spoil. I can't really tell you what happens, even though I told you about what happens in Pulp Fiction or The Frighteners or whatever. You have to watch it because yeah, it's in the '90s and you could yeah, but to me it's still a good movie. Like I've watched it 3 times, but over time I realized that what they have to do is a little, but that I kind of enjoy it. I actually like the movies where they talk about death and yeah, imagine it because I'm really a fan of like movies that can perceive of what people actually want to think about, like what happens after death. Like a lot of people want to know that and actually want to give the answers, but I mean, some people in real life actually had a near-death experience, but why make a movie about it? But Flatliners is okay. I still enjoy it. It's it's kind of creepy in a way. Like first time I watched it, I was kind of creeped out because like it's that premise I never heard before. Like a group of people want to go to death to see what's going to happen, and they have to come back to report it. And it's so chilly, and I like the way how Joel Schumacher does this. Like everybody's good. Well, I have nothing to say about it. Flatlanders. 500 Days of Summer. Now, I'll tell you right now, I always wanted to see this movie, like along with a whole bunch of movies that came out the same year. But I know it's a romantic comedy, but it has Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Okay, he's gonna be good in it anyways. But what sets it apart from other romantic comedies is that it doesn't go in order. I mean, some of it's cliche, but it's cliched, but it still manages to be fresh and new. Like you have this, it's a basic guy meeting girl, yeah, like uh, all that crap. But there's something about it that makes it so fresh and new. Like no matter how many times I watch it, there's something fresh about it. Like yeah, it should be a linear story, but what happens is in the course of 500 days, it goes on about the relationship between this guy and this girl, and it doesn't go exactly in order. Like in the beginning, it's like the day number 300, and then it goes all the way to the beginning at like 100, and all these things keep happening. Like I think that's I think that's what makes it so special is because it's a cliche story. It's a cliche like um meet a guy meeting girl, they get along as friends, they meet. Yeah, it's fun. Um, I actually don't really mind it. I don't know what to say about this because I'm not really into romantic comedies. because Adam Sandler has done so like no not Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler has done a lot of bad ones, but except like The Wedding Singer, all that. But this movie is I don't know if it's me, but it's so up to date and so kind of optimistic and then pessimistic because it can go from comedy and then drama and it's how like again it's a cliched story. It's been done before, but it hasn't been done out of order. Um, like I think they picked out Pulp Fiction. I think, but I'm guessing they picked out Pulp Fiction. They don't want to tell a linear story because it's gonna be a movie that story has been done to death. But they said, okay, we have to do this. And I like the romance between Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zoe Deschanel. Deschanel? I don't know. I can't pronounce her name properly. Um, yeah, but I still like it because it's funny, and I can watch it over and over again. Like I've watched it so far 3 times, and like right now, but the thing is, some days I don't want to watch it because I don't want it to be old and stale. Like the more times I watch it, unlike other movies I watch, but a little part of me sees the DVD and like I gotta watch it again. I want to see that movie again, but I can't because I don't want it to be stale and I don't want to be tired of it. So yeah, 500 in the summer. Blades of Glory. Okay, I didn't think this would be a good movie. In high school, I heard from everybody, "Oh, this is a good movie. It's hilarious." I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of lower my expectation because it has what Will Ferrell and John Heder, Napoleon Dynamite. Like, okay, it's not gonna be that good. And then I never saw it in the movies. I just saw it on a satellite a few years ago. And when I saw it, it's like a laugh a minute. I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, there's this ridiculous plot about uh, two male skaters, like ice skaters, getting banned because of a fight on ice. And it's a few years later, and there's this loophole where they can perform doubles, like they can perform doubles ice skating, and it's stupid. It's really stupid, but it makes me laugh every time. Like I didn't think it would be that good at first, but then it's like holy shit! Like everything about this movie is hilarious. Like it's like they took all the creativity from comedy and just put it together. I mean, this stupid premise has a lot of hilarious jokes. I mean, Will Ferrell has this like what's it called? This full of himself thing is like I'm the tiger or whatever. It's like boom. It's like Chaz Michael Michaels is figure skating. Boom. And then I can't stop laughing because it's so absurd. He's like this kind of rock star ice skater. Like he kisses ladies, he does drugs, he drinks, and he's just this mess. And then you got this guy who's like that John Heder or Napoleon Dynamite, as most of you know. He's this like kind of effeminate person. He's like, oh, he's like looking at Will Ferrell's like disgusting, and he's like the clean cut image, like the I think Shirley, like I don't know what of it, but probably a Shirley Temple kind of guy. Like he doesn't do drugs, he's just doing it for I think the kids, and he's just doing it because he wants to be talented. He wants to be showcase his talent. And these two together, they're complete opposite, and they do so well together. I kind of wish there's a sequel, but then again, the first one is just so amazing, and so like I don't know what else to say about it. Like everybody's fantastic. Will Arnett, Amy Poehler, Craig T. Nelson. They're all hilarious. But okay, the Will Arnett and Amy Poehler thing. I know they're married in real life, as I'm talking right now, but it's like I never knew they were married when this movie came out. It's like, oh, what the fuck are they doing? Like, cause they're playing brother and sister, and they're John Hetter's brother and sister. No, no, wait. No, that's actually something else. Sorry, forget that. Um, but they play brother and sister, but they're so into each other, and it's like incest. Like, what the hell are they doing? And it's supposed to be disgusting, yes, but it's because these two, since he was in Arrested Development and she was in Saturday Night Live slash Parks and Recreation, but it's still funny. I still find it funny because everything is stupid. Everyone is an idiot. Okay, not everybody, but it's just insane. Like it just goes from okay, it's funny, it's fun, and then it just goes like over the top stupidity. Everybody is insane. Okay, again, I don't know what I'm saying, but because I enjoy it. So yeah, Blades of Glory is hilarious. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. came back with Iron Man or The Soloist or Tropic Thunder or all that. This is the movie that is his comeback. I mean, there you got other movies that came out as a comeback, like Gothica, not Gothica. I heard that was a classic bad movie, but Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is like his comeback role. It's like a whole new return because you got the like it's slick, it's funny, and so it has this crime noir kind of thing. Like I haven't seen it before, and the first time I saw the trailer, I was hooked. Okay, no, I didn't see the trailer. I saw an article about it, and I like, oh, I gotta see this, but it was rated R. So it was back when I couldn't see R-rated movies, and then in high school I finally saw it. I'm like, oh my god, this movie's amazing because like you got this mystery, you got this murder mystery thing, and then you got Robert Downey Jr. playing a thief turned actor, and then you got Val Kilmer as this detective who tries to figure out this case, which turns out to be this murder, and then you got these two separate plots that do come together eventually, and oh my, I wish Val Kilmer could be like um he could be like movies like these, not like the movies he's keep on doing, like these cheesy movies that nobody ever sees, these sucky movies. But this is the high point in the middle of that. Like he's done these bad movies, like he's done because I hear he's difficult on set or something, but this movie is absolutely amazing because it's funny, it's smart, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because everybody does their part. I mean, you got this like crap. I don't know what else to say about it because it's really hard to describe to me, anyways. Because I saw this movie like five, six times, and it keeps surprising me. Um, but it's all good. It's all funny because um, I don't know why the conversations and everybody. Oh God, I don't know what to say. Um, ah, I don't know what to say about this movie because you have to watch it to see why it's so good. And I don't get why people didn't see this movie as much. I mean, it's so underrated. It's so fucking underrated. I mean, okay, I didn't see it when it came out because I couldn't. But for those of you who still think that Robert Downey Jr. was good in his comeback role with Iron Man and all that, watch this movie. It's still amazing. Gets me every time. I literally have nothing to say about it because my brain's kind of so yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, I love Harry Potter. I love the movies. I read all the books. I've watched all the movies like a few times in a row, but the third one's the best. I mean, the last movie, part two of the Deathly Hallows, was amazing. It was a fantastic finish to a film series that most of us grew up with. But the third one's the best because I'll tell you why. Um, first one was family friendly. And I watched it recently. I thought it's good, but it's missing a few things. It's it has a few minor plot holes, like the fact that it takes place in the 70s, but in the newspaper it says 2001. So, and it's kind of it feels like a basic fantasy movie, even though it's not really supposed to when you compare it to the other movies. Second movie, The Chamber of Secrets, it's actually family friendly too, but there's actually a few dark elements they put in there, and I enjoy that a lot more than the first one. Even the first one's good, but the first one is just family friendly, and I'm growing up with it now. I'm like, I like it still, but it's missing that edge. And then the third one is when all that shit is going down. Now, third one is where this all the shit goes down. Like it gets dark. It's not the family friendly thing you ever seen. And a friend of mine agrees with the same thing because it got dark, and it's because it was directed by this movie, Children of Men. Like it's actually a good movie. I haven't seen it yet, like right now. And a friend of mine actually told me about it, and I'm like, okay, I'll see it eventually. And because the director of that movie, like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is where like the adult themes start to rise up. It is a bit harsh on the first two films because they're family friendly, and then after the second one, everything just goes dark. Actually, technically, the fourth one is where all the shit is going on because people start dying. And I know I talked about this a little in my Harry Potter review, the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part Two, but yeah, and I said back then that the Prisoner of Azkaban was the best movie because, well, ironically, the main villain's not in this, and somehow that's the best movie. But the adult themes start to rise up, like Harry Potter finds out Harry Potter, like Harry is beginning to be frustrated with the changes in his life, or not the changes, like his parents died already, but he feels like he's kind of alone in the world, and like it's definitely not. Again, it's not family friendly because it's the director of that Children of Men, which I showed here, and if you saw that movie, that is depressing. Like my friend told me, this is the most depressing movie. And unlike Children of Men, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is like, okay, there's some symbol of hope. There's a little bit of symbol. Don't get me wrong, Children of Men actually have the same thing too, but Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, it deals with fantasy too, but it's it's more darker and it has a lot more humor, which I'm used to, and it has that edge which I got used to by the last movies. Children of Men, like I'll put you like my friend said. There's some hope, it's gone. There's a little bit of hope, it's gone. It's like the hope's right there, the hope's right there, and then it just goes left turn into depression. Um, Harry Potter 3 is the best because it's a movie which I have to watch over and over again because I want to see how I got into the more complex Harry Potter movies because like the first two were directed by Chris Columbus, who has that family friendly thing which um he directed the first two Home Alone movies. He always he always seems to like the first two of something, doesn't he? Um, but like again, it's a dark, complex story. And when I watched it for the first time, I'm like, everything is making sense. Um, like when I watched the first time, I'm like, okay, it's good. And then the second half, I'm like, okay, everything makes sense. And I have the movie, but it's burnt. Like it's on a burnt disc copy, so yeah, it's not the same. But I still enjoy it, and I watch it over and over again because, well, it's the darkest movie out of all of them. Uh, you don't have to agree with me. To me, it's the darkest movie because, like, it's really complex. It's low humor, and it's a lot harsher on the first two. It's like, oh, they're good, but they're too family friendly, especially the first one. But I like all the Harry Potter movies, especially this one. I'll watch all of them again, but this one is the one I love the most. So yeah, Harry Potter 3. Black Swan. All right, I didn't think this would be a good movie. Okay, A lot of people kept saying that this was a good movie. This is going to be a good movie. And when it came out, people were like, "This is a good movie. I swear to God, this is a good movie." And I remember when I was at a friend's house, and then I was informed that by another friend if I wanted to go see Black Swan. I'm like, okay. So after that, I just met my friend at the theater. And I'm going, okay, this is gonna be okay, and I enjoyed it because it's fucked up. It's all fucked up. It just goes into this tailspin of despair. It goes into the mind of a person who's who seems stable, but she's also like she's mentally unstable. Like she's this Nellie Portman is this ballet. She's in ballet, right? And and then what happens is this guy comes along and says that he's gonna twist it up with Black Swan or Swan Lake. And so there's this white swan and black swan, and then there's one person who has to go, like, they have to, like, do both. And so she can do the white swan, but she can't do the black swan properly because she's this innocent character. And then as time goes on, she gets more and more unstable. She starts seeing things. She starts thinking that she can't really do it, and it's all these things that are fucked. Everything's fucked up. Like the beginning is like, okay, it's good, and then it's like, doo doo, like it's like, okay, this is fucked up, and it goes to normal, and then it goes even more. It just goes to insanity. Everything just goes insane, and I've watched it over and over again just to like see a mind beginning to melt down. And actually, part of me, and I really want to do that. I just want to go into the deepest, darkest realms of my sanity and like become fucked up. Like my reviews, I'm getting more and more fucked up because I'm watching these bad movies and I can't take it anymore. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but I want to go into like I'm really into theater. I always audition for theater plays. Um, and I always wanted to do a role that I can get so into that I can become so fucked up in the end. But this takes the cake. This is fucked up. Everything here is fucked up. Like it's this girl who goes from us like this quiet person, and then all like throughout the movie she comes across. She gets the role as a black swan and white swan. She does brilliant as a white swan, but she needs a black swan, so she has to take she takes these dark turns, and she doesn't know if it's real. Like she doesn't know if it's either real or a hallucination, but she's still fucked up about it anyways. So like again, I've watched this like 3 times, and I'm beginning to watch it more. Um, but I I actually next time I see it, I have to see it again because it's so insane, and I like the movies where a person could be normal and then they can go insane at the end because yeah, actually, okay, it's been done in real life, the whole the whole rumor about Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight where he couldn't get enough sleep and the Joker thing. Okay, that I think that has a little bit to do with the Black Swan, where a person is okay, and then they go into this role and they get deeper and deeper into the role until they can't really reach out of it. But I like those. Like, I wish there was another movie that could be like this, but for now, this is an amazing movie, and I'm actually glad that Natalie Portman actually got the Oscar for it because, well, everybody does a good job too. um, but it's still an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. I mean, if you don't want to see it, please. I wasn't into the whole ballet thing. What it was like the whole ballet thing. What it has to do with ballet. I keep saying ballet a lot right now. I wasn't really into it, and then a lot of people told me watch this movie, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, and then I'm like shocked, and like I'll watch it 2 more times after that. And if you haven't seen it, please, for the love of God, see it. I mean, a lot of people have seen it. A lot of people have said it was a good movie. I mean, the girl has won an Academy Award, but then she was in Your Highness, which is uh, don't watch that movie because it would have been on my top my worst movies of 2011 list, but I'm like fuck it. But Black Swan is an amazing movie. You have to check it out, please. You won't be disappointed. Inception. Now, as I'm talking about this, I've watched this movie 5 times. 5! When I heard about this movie, it was during my first year in college. And I was on Wikipedia and I saw Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I googled him. Don't judge. I'm a fan of his. Um, and I saw in one of the film notes it says Inception. I'm like, okay, I'll click on that. And it has an interesting premise. The guy, like these people go into a guy's head and goes into a dream within a dream within a dream, and they're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so fucked up. Like it cost like $800 million, so it has to be good. It's directed by Christopher Nolan. Um, and when I watched it, I'm like, holy fuck, this is good. Like the only problem I have with it is people said they have to watch it a couple of times to understand what's going on. But I only had to watch it once to understand what was actually going on. The other 4 times I watched it because it was fun. I'll watch it just for fucking fun. And I actually do like the premise of um subconscious in a dream. Like you can do all these things in a dream. You can make someone change their mind and all that. And I actually do kind of enjoy that because I knew this was going to be a good movie when it came out. Like I saw all these ratings. It was like phenomenal ratings. Um, yeah, it's a bit long, but I enjoy it. The pacing's the pacing's sorry, I kind of blanked out. The pacing's good. The acting's good. The action's fantastic, and the philosophy about all these dreams, like what to do in dreams and all that. Yeah, it, part of me feels like it is in that like and is like for me, Inception is kind of like an experience because all this shit is happening. Like all this shit is happening in this guy's mind when he's sleeping, and they just go under the head of one guy. So the premise is, um, Leonardo DiCaprio plays this guy who has to run away from the country because people think he murdered his wife when really she. I can't really tell you. Oh crap! I told you. Um, all right, Leonardo DiCaprio has to flee the country because people think he murdered his wife and he has to get away. And then the only way to go back to his children is if he does this one job, and that's when going inside this guy's head when he's sleeping, his subconscious, to tell him not to take over his father's business, and then he gets all these people to help him out with that, and it's really fucked up. And Christopher Nolan didn't even hate 3D, and it's an IMAX. I hate to know what happens if it was in 3D. My mind was fucked when I saw this movie for the first time. Like, holy shit, this is like a total mindfuck. Like, nothing's stable. It's not really a stable. It's not. It's stable, but it's also messed up. I mean, like, it would be an easy task. It really would, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character's uh mind is kind of messed up after his past, and it constantly interferes with everything he's doing in the dreams, and it's just fun. Okay, it's not fun. It's really complicated. Well, to me it wasn't because I still enjoyed it. It's not for me. It's not complicated because I understood it basically because everybody has talked about it before I watched it, and yeah, like the friend who I told you about who likes Children of Men and says Harry Potter 3 is the best one, like I said too. He says he doesn't want to watch it because of those internet memes. And I don't think I should see those internet memes because wouldn't take it seriously. And I've watched Inception like twice in 3 days. Yeah, like every time I'm telling like fuck it, I gotta watch it. Every time it's at the library and I have to borrow it, I don't know why. It's oh god, I don't know what else to say about it, but I've always wanted to try that. Like I wonder if there's such thing. There probably is, but I don't know. So yeah, Inception. Go check it out if you haven't. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now, the first time I watched this movie, I'm like, oh my god, am I high? This movie is fucked up. like it has these two guys who have to do something in Las Vegas, like write an article. Like he has to write an article, and he's his friend slash assistant slash lawyer, I think. And they go through this mess, this drug crazed mess, and it's fantastic. Like all the images are distorted. Like it's all about trying to find the American dream when everything is like bulldozed. Like nothing really matters much. And so they just go to Las Vegas, like the most commercialistic place ever. Like you could go anywhere else, but Las Vegas, you got these two drug addicts with a whole bunch of drugs, and they go to Las Vegas. Isn't that that's kind of fucked up? And it is fucked up. And I remember watching this when I was in like the middle of high school, thinking, "Oh my god, I think I am high," because it's not visually pleasing. Like it's it's not like okay, you need to take a break. I don't think there is much breaks because there's so many things going on. Like think of it as a little bit of Black Swan. Like you don't know what the hell's going on, what's happening. Everything is messed up, except Black Swan contains it. Don't get me wrong, I like Black Swan. Like, but Black Swan is kind of contained, even though it gets crazier and crazier. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is all over the place. Like it's everywhere. Like the mood swings are fucked up. Like the swinging, like one minute everything could be like really calm, and the next like like like, like where are these goddamn animals? Like like me and my friend always quote it, like pretty much quoted in high school. Not much now, but everybody should get it. It's like we can't stop it. This is backcountry, or like goddamn, what are these goddamn animals? I'm not a good impressionist, but I enjoy this movie because I like movies that are like really fucked up and they're still good. I mean, it was directed by Terry Gilliam. Monty Python. Okay, okay, okay. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why it's so funny because it's Terry Gilliam. He does these fantasy, like he does these movies that are really strange, really out there, like fantasy type, like Doctor Parnassus, and that's all I ever know. Oh, Brazil. I think he directed Brazil. Like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas to me is the most fucked up movie I've ever seen. And I've seen this movie. I don't drink. I don't do any drugs. But if I saw this movie on drugs, I'd be fucked up. I don't know. Oh my god. And I love Johnny Depp, and I love everything about this movie. But there are a few slow moments. There are a few moments where it's like, okay, this is pretty dramatic over here. And then the wild and after scenes, like especially the beginning when they get into Vegas and then they stumble across people and the people are like, oh my god, what are they doing? And it's I've never been to Las Vegas, but I don't know if it's exactly like that. Um, yeah, it's not. I don't know what else to say about this movie because these two people just wreak havoc over Las Vegas. Everything is like unstable, and they have a the guy has a deadline to write this article, and because he continues to do these drugs, continues to drink, continues to like become fucked up of all these like continues to trash hotel rooms, and it's like a mind fuck. It's like if somebody gave you put LSD in your brain and there's no way you could actually and you have to live with it for about a couple of hours. So yeah, that's how I'm describing it. Putting LSD not in your mouth but into your brain. Yeah, and seeing what would happen. Yeah, so yeah, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The Dark Knight. Yeah, like everybody likes this movie. I think everybody likes this movie. Everybody who saw this movie likes this movie. And at first I didn't really want to see this movie because I wasn't really interested in superhero movies. Okay, maybe Spider-Man, the first two. Third one is well, if you saw the third, if you know how I feel about the third one in my review, if you saw it. But I didn't really want to see the Dark Knight, but then um because it's Batman, I didn't really. get into it much. I mean, I liked him, but not that much. And then a friend twisted my arm and forced me to go see it. And I'm like, oh god. Like I've heard what happened to Heath Ledger and the Joker, and everybody keeps saying it's good, it's good, it's good. He's good in this movie. Everybody's good in this movie. It's so complex and it's so amazing. Like everybody does a good job. Everything is amazing. Like the premise is all over the place, but it's still good. Like Batman stopped the Joker, and then you got Harvey Dent and all what happens to him, why the Joker does to him. Um, I didn't want to see this movie at first, but then again a friend twisted my arm, and I was forced to go see it. And then when I saw it, I'm like, holy fuck, this movie's awesome. Um, it just shows like for me the one thing about this is how somebody could be shining so bright and then somebody can fuck them up so much and it can go below the level of the belt. Like you got Harvey Dent going through all this like he's this everything's going well in Gotham. There's little to no crime because of Batman, and Harvey Dent is putting away people in jail and like all the crime they're committing. And then the Joker comes along and he brings him back to down to his level, after the accident with Harvey Dent's face. And yeah, I can't really describe what would happen. I can't really know. I don't really know exactly why I like this movie, but then again, I don't really know how to talk about movies because this is just a This is just a list of movies I will watch over and over again, and I would watch this movie over and over again because 2 days ago I watched The Dark Knight again, and I'm like, it's still fresh, it's still amazing, and it's the dark and complex character development. It's like um, it just stretches out a lot, and even though usually I get a bit antsy after 2.5 hours, but I do enjoy it. I mean, I still have the ticket stub of the day it came out, The Dark Knight. I still have it. And people still talk about it. Okay, not really, but I still enjoy watching because well, everybody's amazing, especially Heath Ledger, and I'm glad he won that award. Um, though, okay, the climax is a bit long, but then again, it's fucked up. Um, but it's not like the Batman movies that I've seen recently. Like recently, I saw the Tim Burton movies, the Tim Burton Batman movies, and they were actually they actually were traditional. Just stop the Joker in the first one, stop um, what was it? Stop the Penguin and all that. Yeah, and then the Joel Schumacher movies were a bit colorful and a bit campy. Okay, the third one I liked. Okay, I mean, I like Jim Carrey in that movie and Tommy Lee Jones, but okay, Tommy, it was over the top, yeah, I know, but they worked so well together. But on the other hand, it wasn't like the previous Batman. Batman and Robin, I don't need to talk about it. It's a horrible movie. Then Christopher Nolan comes along, puts this dark and complex character development in it, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it, especially The Dark Knight. And I gotta tell you, as I'm talking about this, Dark Knight Rises is coming out, but I I'm kind of on the fence about that. It it should be better than Batman Begins, but it can't be better than The Dark Knight. There's no way they can top The Dark Knight. So yeah, it's a movie I will watch over and over again. I did, and if I see it again, if it's on again, I'll see it again. The Dark Knight. There you go. I love this movie a lot. Like I would watch it over and over and over and over again, other than any of the movies on this list. Because let's see, um, when I first heard this movie, it was like when I was in grade six, and I'm like, and I knew Adam Sandler because he's done all these movies like Anger Management and Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and all that. But I wanted to see this movie because I knew by the commercials what I saw in the commercials, it was different. and I really wanted to watch it, especially when like the kiss, yeah, and yeah, everything about this movie is amazing. Like it's perfect for me. Um, Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler is this guy who's like repressed. He does all the work and all this. He works at this factory, like warehouse, I think warehouse, and he really doesn't have any emotional balance. I mean, he's calm, and then out of nowhere he can just become very angry, and he can't really break out of the shell. And then he meets a girl, Emily Watson or Emma Watson, Emily Watson, um, who helps him break out of the shell, and they both really love each other because they can bring the best out of each other. And I believe that. I wish Adam Sandler could make more movies like this, not like Jack and Jill or Just Go With It, where it's really stupid. Like it's romantic comedy, but it's really stupid. I wish he could make movies like this, or make another movie with Drew Barrymore, like The Wedding Singer or 51st Dates. Because every time it's with Drew Barrymore, it's automatic funny. Like because I believe the relationship because they are funny, they can be weird, and they can make really good romantic comedies if they can try. But this is Adam Sandler's best movie he's done. Now I'm not saying like everything else is bad. Like 60% of it is bad because it has these stupid plots. These whole like Just Go With It is a stupid movie. Jack and Jill, I'm not gonna bother watching because like I'm gonna quote my friend. I am not gonna watch it. Like I'm gonna quote a friend here. He's like, I am not gonna watch a movie. Like I love Adam Sandler, but I'm not gonna watch a movie that is gonna be his worst by a country mile. And I've reviewed Little Nicky, which I don't really. It's just like one of the reviews I don't really like because I explained too much, or there's like I it wasn't really a problem with it. But this movie, Punch Drunk Love, is my favorite because everything about everything about it is just soothing. Like it could be funny and then it could be so dramatic. And Adam Sandler, like if you strip everything off, it's a basic Adam Sandler movie. Like he plays this, yeah, it is a basic. Like if you strip all the meat away and expose the bones of it, it's a basic Adam Sandler romantic comedy. Where because he's still playing this angry guy who's repressing himself, but it's different because it's not like over the top like 12-year-old angry. It's more like adult. I don't know how to say. Like when he's like acting like 12 in the or like his regular music. Oh, it's like why'd you shut up? Or right here, he doesn't really like. It's kind of the same, but it's more adult. Like like here's the thing. Like in Happy Gilmore, he beats up Bob Barker and it's hilarious. But when he gets into a fight with other guys that punch Drunk Love, it's like holy shit. Like no expression. He just fights. Like he's like he gets out of the car like okay here's the thing. Bad guys hit his car. Okay, like people who hate him, who want to get him, like hit his car with his girlfriend. His girlfriend's head is like bruised and bleeding. Then he gets out of the car and starts hitting these guys with a crowbar. And it would be like every single movie he's done with a fight scene, but it's much more mature. He handles it maturely. Like he still fights, but it's more dark that way. And I was interested in this movie since I was in sixth grade, and I'm still in college. That's incredible. Like no other movie has done that. Okay, maybe Back to the Future, but this movie keeps me interested at all times. Like again, I wish he could do more of these movies. Like I've talked about this movie over and over and over again, and everything about this movie is just right. Like the characters are amazing, the acting's amazing, the premise is amazing. Like Adam Sandler, Emily Watson, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Um, I wish he would got a Golden Globe or an Oscar for this movie. Not Philip, I mean Adam Sandler. Like he could do work. He could do good work. It's just that the movies he's put out lately are just horrible. Like I love him, but he keeps putting out these horrible movies, and I wish he would do things like Punch Drunk Love, except not the same. Just like a really thoughtful movie, like a really thoughtful movie with it. He plays a nice guy with repressed memories, and he has someone just break out of it. And I like that. I like when he does that. Like in this movie, in this case, definitely. Like to me, it's perfect. And I know some of you are confused why I put this over The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but and I like that movie. Trust me, I really like that movie. But Punch Drunk Love, as I've watched it before I was in high school, and I still enjoy it. Dark Knight came when I was in high school, around the near end of my high school, my last year, before my last year of high school. Punch Drunk Love has been through, like, I always liked since grade 6. Grade 6, elementary school. Like, those are the kind of movies which I actually like to enjoy because every time I watch it, there's something new I'd like to see. Like The Dark Knight, but Punch Drunk Love, I don't see anything new anymore because I watched this 8, 9, 10 times right now. And so, yeah, I enjoy this movie. Like, the best. And I really wish there were more movies like it. I think there are, but more movies like what Adam Sandler could put out. Not like the future ones, the ones after that. Anger Management, I like. But everything else is either hit or miss. Like, 50 First Dates was okay. Uh, but everything else was okay. Like, Rain Over Me, I heard was good. But Click, it's okay. It's stupid, but it's pretty dramatic as well. But yeah, Punch Drunk Love is the movie I will watch over and over again. So yeah, like these movies are the ones I watch over and over again. They're not my favorites, and but I watch them over and over again. Like eventually, I'll put on a list of my favorite movies. So yeah, my top 13 repeats. Oh, aka the movies I watch over and over again, even though they're not my favorites. So yeah, that's it. All right, take care.